Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 642. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is Saturday the 27th of January.
Where did January go?
Don't ask me. 2024. Laura and I both use the she, her pronouns, and this might actually go up in the next day or two because it has to.
Leslie's leaving.
Yeah, I have to go out of town for work. So if you're going to be at the Dynatrace Perform conference in Las Vegas, come say hi. I don't know that there's a lot of crossover between...
There seems to be a lot of IT knitters.
Yeah, but when I was at Perform, the same conference last year, I would say 1 out of every 35 people was a woman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we definitely do have male viewers, but that... What's it called?
Demographic?
That, yeah.
Crossover?
Yeah, the Venn diagram.
Overlapping section?
Is probably even smaller than female monitoring IT people and knitters. Anyway, there might be some background noise. Michael is finishing the
steps.
Wood laminate stuff on the steps. But we may not be recording long enough for that to be a problem because neither of us have a ton to talk about.
We did record 5 days ago, so
yeah.
And while I had 1 day off since then, I got some stuff done. Not a ton though.
Yeah, I got a little done, but
that's okay. There'll be weeks like that. Yeah. That is life. Would you like to go first, or do you want
Next
me to
week
go
will
first?
be even thinner because I'll have been in Vegas.
Well, you'll have plain knitting time.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I am working... Oh, these are so bright and cheerful. I am working on some Geek-tastic toe-up socks out of the Island of Misfit Toys colorway. These are their Targi base. I think I am almost about to start... Oop. Hold, please, while I get my tape measure. So I am at 6 inches, so I need to go... Well, 6.5. I need to go to 7.5 before I start my heel flap. So almost there. Getting a little bit of progress made. Really enjoying them. They just are my book bag knitting socks. So whenever I'm like picking up an order or waiting in line for something, that is what gets worked on. So not a ton this week, but almost a full color repeat. So I'm happy with that. The other thing that I am working on is my stripy unicorn sweater. Oh, and my socks are knit on size 0s, over 60 stitches. So the stripy unicorn sweater is a sweater pattern by Joji Locatelli that came out at the end of 2023. I am knitting mine using some Jacob from Round Barn Farm, which is a woolen spun yarn, and some hand spun that I spun out of Targi Into the World in the Herding Cats colorway. So I am, that is a lot of ends for you to see and not much else. I am on the 2nd repeat of the yoke. I have 2 more repeats after this and then a 6th repeat that I do 4 times. But I'm a little worried that's going to make the yoke too deep. Because I need it to be around 10 inches. So I am going to, and I would say it's at 6 now. So
close, yeah.
We'll see. We'll see where it ends up.
I would agree.
I might have to increase a little,
deep.
yeah. I might have to increase a little bit faster, which means I will have to figure that out because, oh, this is going to be a lot of math because it's not a consistent...
Right.
It's consistent in that it happens over 6 rows. Rows, but it's it's not repeatable. I will have to like draw it out. That being said, like I really cannot have anything happening while I'm doing this because it's not like you increase at every marker. It is a pattern that my brain has not deciphered yet. So it is only on the hand spun rows that the increases happen. So worst comes to worst, I can start increasing on the Jacob rows and just move those into the next, which will probably be what I do now that I'm thinking about it. So instead of doing like a rest row in between of just plain stockinette, I will probably then just do the next increase row in the gray to increase a little bit faster.
And is it the increases are unusual because there's short rows involved in the process?
Well, the short rows only happened up at the top. And it was a very clever way of doing short rows. No, they occur at the raglan increase points like every 6th row, and at other points on the front and the back and the sleeves differently. I can't explain any better than that. So actually it might say there might be a better explanation in the pattern. So 2 stitches are increased on the sleeves, 2 stitches are increased on the back, and 2 stitches are increased on the front on odd numbered rows, but they're at different points at different markers.
All right. I mean, I haven't even knit it, and I'm already confused.
So. So I'm getting there. It will look really pretty when it is done. The main alteration that I've done so far is instead of a rolled collar, I did ribbing at the collar point. So that also would have added a little bit of depth.
Yeah.
So, it's my own fault, and I'm not getting gauge either, because why would I get gauge? I did do a giant gauge swatch. I think I showed that to y'all last week. It is around 7 by 7. But I was still a little bit large on my gauge, and when I did the math, I decided to go down a size. There's another good picture. Versus knitting the size that, you know, it would call for. But again, a larger gauge is going to affect depth of yoke. So, and on raglans, I know how to accommodate that, but this is a little bit different. So we're all going to learn together. Do I like having to think? Not usually with my knitting, but I think this pattern is definitely worth it. And I like the fact that I got to like a smidge of the orange in the hand spun, which is not as noticeable, the blue and the orange, but it's there. So yeah. It's a great way to make your hand spun stretch a little bit further. And when this blocks, the Jacob really plumps up a good bit. And I think my hand spun will too. So yeah. But can I work on that now? No, I cannot. So I will go back and hopefully get a whole repeat done on my sock, perhaps. We will see. That is it for me. With what I'm working on.
Well, I kind of went back and forth on what to work on for the coming week since I'll be out of town. I would love to keep knitting on my sweater, but it's too bulky. It requires 2 balls of yarn. It's not something I'll be able to like take to dinner. So I decided I was just going to do socks. I've got like 4 or 5 skeins of fingering weight self-striping that I got at SSK. And one that I haven't even finished yet. So I picked that one back up first, and this will travel with me. This might be the only thing I can take with me. I don't tend to get a lot of knitting done on trips. And this one especially, I don't expect to get a lot done because even the meals will be working meals. So, you know, I might be able to get some knitting done during those meals, but by the time I get back to the hotel room, I'm going to want to like completely veg out, so there won't be a whole lot of spoons for knitting. So I probably will only take the skein that I'm working on.
I would take a backup skein because I'm that person.
But you'll get knitting done, and I won't. So
at least like if you get stuck in the airport for a long period of time.
I'll have an iPad, a Kindle, a phone.
Okay.
It'll be fine. If I somehow finish these socks this week, I will on air tell you I was wrong. So this is a skein of the Cornucopia yarn. This is from Woolens and Nosh in the fingering weight Targi base. It's 90% Targi, 10% nylon. This is the same base that Knitspin Farm uses and Geektastic uses. We both really, really love that Targi base.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of bounce to it. So I probably have only knit like 2 colors since you saw this last, but that was like a month plus ago. So, and this was living in an Amy Beth bag with a bag of Hershey's Kiss M&Ms, or not M&Ms, Hershey's Kiss, like wrapped little things, chocolate things, and everything was like in the bag. The bag was zipped. You know where this is going.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
My question is, did they eat through the bag?
No, they did. So there is no like fabric torn or anything in the bag, but Jordy did get it, and he could smell that there was something in there. And I must have caught him very early in it, but he grabbed it, and so he had started like chewing, so it had broken apart some of the chocolate inside, and so it rubbed all over the inside of the bag.
Oh.
So that is currently soaking in my sink to get the...
But he didn't actually get the chocolate.
He didn't actually get the chocolate, and he didn't actually tear the bag. So, I had been keeping a couple of my projects in big Ziploc bags down in the living room where I craft, but that doesn't stop him. So now
he eats through the Ziploc bags,
yeah.
Which is why I asked if he ate through the Amy Beth bag.
So, but yeah, so this is Woolens and Nosh. It's really nice. I like working with it. It's just I would rather be working on a sweater right now. So, but that's okay. Sometimes I like sweaters. Sometimes I like socks. And then my sweater is in here. Oh, this is your student's thing.
Oh, thank you.
Laura had a student who tore clothing and needed it patched, and Laura can typically do seams and stuff, but this was a bigger...
Yeah. I've repaired their seams on their stuff a couple times, but so this was...
I had to put like a piece of t-shirt backing on it.
They'll appreciate that.
But, you know.
That's much better of a job than I could do. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to put that in my actual bag because they've been anxious to get it back.
Yeah, I wanted to get it done before I left. So, I have no idea where I was. I think I've gotten a full repeat done since I showed this last time. But this is the Pressed Flowers cardigan. Amy Christopher's designed it. She just put out a vest over the past couple weeks sometimes of this pattern in a vest.
And I think the pattern's are on sale because of that. I think she's got 20% off right now.
So yeah, I'm just at this point it's just like knit until the underarm, which is like 17-ish inches. I think.
Nice.
I might make it slightly longer because this is going to be an oversized fit for me. The intention is that it's going to be an oversized fit for me. We'll see. But yeah, I really like it. It's great. I don't even have to look at the pattern at this point anymore.
Yay!
So, yeah, I'm really happy. I've got a ton still of the first ball of Noro, but I am almost out of the first ball of Remix.
We've got a Patreon tomorrow, so you can knit on it during that.
Yeah. Another thing that Jordy got a hold of.
Oh.
Yeah, this is Thread and Maple. They sent us these years ago, and I've used the crap out of it.
Yeah, I use mine all the time.
Notions pouch with scissors and needles, and like a little, you can put stitch markers in here or on the zipper, but
it's a very clever design.
Yeah, and it's well made. So, you know, everything gets destroyed. But that's basically all. That's basically all I've worked on. I started doing a little bit of the towel finishing, and then my bobbin of white ran out, and I was like, well, this is a good time to switch to black so I can fix your student's thing. And I just didn't go back to it, so I will. Just not now.
Yeah.
Do you have some spinning?
Well, I have a continuation of 2 large projects.
Oh.
So, these are the same bobbins I showed you last week.
Oh, but you have a finished thing to talk about.
I do have a finished thing. I did bring the sweater from last week that I told you all that I repaired and brought it to show you. So this is Beachcomb by Tiffany Lynn, and it has, you can see at the very top, a herringbone. So there's a herringbone detail at the very top. And then you can kind of see those stitches go in different directions. And then it also had that at the bottom, but it was pulling in quite a lot, and I wanted to not have that happen. And I also wanted to shorten the length by a good like 2 to 3 inches. So I did both those things and reknit the hem, the bottom hem as garter. I need to weave in some ends and reblock it, and then I can wear it.
Let me see it.
Let me see it.
I wish I had a short sweater to wear with like.
You should try that one on later.
A long sleeve. Like
Yeah.
This.
That's what I was thinking. So I have long sleeve dresses
Yeah.
that I put it over. That was the original intent from Universal Standard. And then I also have some that are like the spaghetti strap, so that I could have something there as well. There is a front and a back.
Oh, well, I didn't pay any attention.
Yeah.
To
It looks good on you.
I might adjust the sleeves when I.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of this.
Well, it's a boxy shape, so like this only sleeve detail is like that little bit of ribbing. That looks really good on you.
Yeah,
It's too bad I like it.
It's too bad it belongs to me. Yeah. I like
So that was out of some hand spun from Hello Yarn and the Poison Apple. If you like it, I think I used 12 ounces. So probably less than that now that I've like cut out that much.
Yeah.
Because I had just broken into the other ball. And it was a fingering weight. So if you want me to spin some for you, let me know. Although I have your other stuff still to spin.
I'm in such a hurry.
Yep. It's semi-solid, so it's boring, so it keeps getting shoved back. I did see it the other day, and I moved it so I would be cognizant of where it was before Gwen comes and rearranges everything. So, things still on the wheels. Hey, Buff Buff.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. I finished the other bobbin of this. This is some fiber from Hill Heritage Farm. They're not vending at Dixon this year, so because I was going to get more, but they're not on the vendor list. It's actually, the event is the week before my birthday, and I'm going to my parents for my birthday for Easter. Because my birthday falls on Easter this year. You are always welcome to join. Matt and Beck will be there, hopefully.
Aww.
Yeah, so it'll be good time with my sister and brother-in-law. And anyway, I'm probably not going to go to Dixon unless I ride with someone else, because I'll be driving 12 hours round trip the next weekend. So driving 6 hours round trip to go to a fiber festival
that you can walk through in less than an hour very easily.
Yeah. Might not happen. Although I would love to see like Whimsy Stitches will be there and a bunch of other people. So if Holly wants to drive again, I might go along with. But if no one's going, then I probably won't. Anyway, so I'm sad that I can't get more of this, but this is woolen spun. So twist was running between my hands, and I've spun all of it now. And yeah, I need to start plying. I have around 1.5 pounds to ply, so I need to get on that. And then the other thing that I'm actively working on, this is the first bobbin. The second bobbin is also done.
Wow.
The third bobbin has around 3 ounces on it, so it's around halfway down.
What is this?
This is going to be Mystic Square.
Oh, okay.
I put it on my chest, like you should know. It is much more peach than I usually go for. But it's got blues and purples. It is a mashup. So I took 5 braids of Hello Yarn in 3 different colors, in merino and targi and Falkland, I think, and just tore them into strips and have been randomly pulling out of a bin and then kind of weighing and filling bobbins, and then filling bobbins. This last bobbin, not this one, but the next one, it went over onto the back, and I had such a mess. And then I had to hand wind quite a lot on. But hopefully this will become a 3-ply worsted. If not, I will find something else to do out of it. Although James Watts, the pattern writer for Mystic Square does like have a little bit of, you can, as long as you get gauge, the density of the fabric is not so much of a concern. And that sweater is kind of the same length as the sweater that Leslie tried on. I was originally going to spend £1, and then I got to doubting myself, so I added that extra 4-ounce braid.
It's always better to have a little extra.
Yeah, it will get used for something if it does not get used
Yeah.
for this. So, yeah, that's what's on the wheels. Maybe I will finish this. We will see. I am going to work on the sweater tonight until it's time for hockey, which is actually technically time for hockey now.
But if you let it start, you can skip some commercials, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it started at 6, so
Not a
I'll
lot.
have all the commercials to skip, basically, because it'll be like 7:30 by the time I get home, or 7 at least. And I also am not someone who watches intermission reports a whole lot. Like, the talking heads don't do a whole lot for me, as much as I love Dan Potash, and wish he was doing like the play-by-play. Anyway,
I got hockey content on TikTok and shared it this week.
oh, I love hockey content. I love hockey.
It was the big stuffed animal thing.
Oh yeah, the teddy bear throw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd never heard of that, of course, but
yeah,
the hockey players looked really happy, so.
yeah. It's a fun thing. That one's very specific to that organization. But yeah, so that is the spinning that I am working on. I'm still just listening to Mona Lisa Vanishes, which is a middle grade nonfiction book, like true crime book, and that is all I got. I zipped up my bag and everything.
You're done.
Although I did leave my other thing out, my sweater outside the bag when I zipped it up.
I am re-listening to, I kind of got a little burned out on the Magical Midlife, whatever
Yeah,
series.
you were not happy with the sexy times.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm over it. I'm like, we've devoted 3 books to it. We can move past it now. But so I decided I wanted something that I knew I liked for travel, and I didn't have to, deal with an unknown. And if I like missed a minute of it while I was boarding or something, it wouldn't bug me.
So what are you going with?
14 by Peter Clines. It's the first in the Threshold universe.
I would have gone with T.J. Klune
That's also a good one, but
or Alana Andrews.
with T.J. Klune, it's a fine line because it's great stuff, but if you pick the wrong book, you're crying on an airplane. So,
That's true.
Like, yeah.
Or if it goes off in your pocket while you're wandering around.
Yeah.
There is also some sexy times,
Yes.
and you're like, what is happening?
Yeah. So, yeah, the 14 is a sort of eldritch kind of sci-fi, but for the most of the book, it's very just like contemporary fiction kind of, and it just takes a weird turn at the end. But I love it. I've read and or listened to it. This is probably the 7th or 8th time. It's one of those ones I read or listen to every couple of years. And then I am reading and enjoying The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo.
It's the author of Six of Crows and a lot of YA fantasy, but this is not YA fantasy.
Right. This is kind of horror-ish.
Adult.
And it's about the secret societies at Yale, so like Skull and Bones, Manuscript, and some other ones. It's pretty good. It does have a lot of content relating to ghosts, but it doesn't annoy me in the way that a lot of, like, nobody's trying to interact with them, and maybe that's why I don't dislike it.
No one's trying to have sexy times with ghosts.
Yeah. Or a doorknob. Yeah, I just lost my train of thought now because of the doorknob book that Malia talked about. Yeah, that's basically it. We have a Patreon VKN tomorrow. This absolutely will not go up before that.
Thank you all our Patreons that
Yes.
back us and keep us going.
That is something we really don't talk about enough. We turned off the monetization on our YouTube videos.
So you don't have to watch stupid ads.
Yeah, because YouTube changed their policy a few months ago where they could put commercials in the middle or wherever they wanted, essentially, into your content, and it's just real jarring, and I don't like it. So I took monetization off because you can't say no. You used to be able to say no to mid-roll ads, but you can't anymore. So I turned that off. So the folks that support us on Patreon are really the people.
That's the only income we have coming in.
Exactly, and we use that to pay for like our internet and any upkeep that we have to do on the servers and the whole Patreon hosting, the website hosting, all that stuff. So we genuinely appreciate the support. We're not trying to get rich off of you guys. It's enough to cover the bills, and that's what we want. So we appreciate you guys. We will be doing next weekend at some point. We'll be doing a fail along that was supposed to be for February or for January, but it'll be the first part of February. And I think we're going to do those scorch marker things.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, because I've got the stuff.
Oh, because we have bird seed stuff at my house.
We can do that too.
And then we were also going to do the coloring stuff from Hunter Emerson.
Well, maybe I'll get everything together and send out a poll.
Oh, we could do a vote, yeah.
Yeah, and just let people decide what they want to see us do. Because we'll do all of them. It's just in which order to do them. So. And
the color along, people can color along with us.
Yeah.
Because Hunter offered those for free on her Patreon.
Yeah, it's like a...
You can print them on like tracing paper.
Yeah.
And then put them in your windows. They make pretty sun catchers for the winter time.
But yeah, so our fail along is basically we try some new craft or skill every month, and sometimes
often fail.
Yeah, sometimes it works out great for one or both of us. Usually, one or both of us fails.
Some of us fail quicker than others.
Yeah, some of us are ready to get back to the knitting. But we have a good time, and it's a really good group, and we enjoy it. So, if you want to join us, you can do that by going to patreon.com/TheKnitGirlls. And if you don't support us, there are plenty of other folks
on Patreon.
Patreon, singers, musicians, print media artists, like just all sorts of creatives you can support.
People who are doing great work, like Aja Barber and Conscious Kid. All sorts of folks are on there.
Authors.
Yep.
Illustrators. Yeah, tons of folks. So anyway.
Nitties on there. Yep. Anyway.
You guys have a great week. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.